We want to save you money and help you not be overweight, at least when it comes to your RV.
That's right. Hey guys, we're Jimmy and Kiki. We're James and Kester with the Boundless Brownie Keys, and today we have 12 things we want to share with you that we don't think you need as a first-time RVer.
Yeah, you don't need this stuff before you hit the road. So we are going to spill all the details on what these things are, why we think you don't need them right away, and some alternatives that can save you some money until you decide exactly what you need on the road.
Dang, that sounds like a lot of good info.
Sounds good, right?
All right,
yeah.
let's go check it out.
Let's go, guys.
All right, before we get started, we do have to admit that there is going to be a couple of these things that we did get. We're going to let you know why we got those and whether or not they're that important or not.
First is internet. Do not blow a bunch of money on Starlink or other internet equipment when you first hit the road. Unless you absolutely need 100% connectivity all the time, which nobody can really guarantee, don't waste that money. You can use campground Wi-Fi, you can use hotspots on your cell phone. There's cell-based providers that are much cheaper, or God forbid, you just don't use internet for a little bit and you actually go out and camp. Until we were about 3.5 years on the road, we utilized hotspots, Wi-Fi, other providers, and then we finally did add in Starlink because we needed to make sure we had a little bit more consistent connectivity across the country. So this is one that we have, but we waited. And on to number 2.
Number 2, here we go. You look so little.
I'm petite.
Number 2 on the list is going to be solar. That's coming from somebody that had 2,400 watts of solar on our last rig. We absolutely loved it when we eventually set it up and was boondocking. We was boondocking, y'all. It was great. However, it's really expensive. It's a lot of weight on your rig. And then once we realized, like, we were staying in a lot of campgrounds and RV parks, the more we became full-time, and we always had power at the park. So if you're really big into wanting to be an off-grid family, couple, RVer, camper, then maybe it is something you consider. But I would still suggest that you get out there before you even think about it. You learn all the wattages and volts that comes from all of your appliances, especially your refrigerator and your air conditioner, to determine really what you need. Because even though we had a lot, we didn't necessarily need that much.
And you could probably get by with a small generator to see if you even like boondocking, because you could spend for a good generator around $1,000 versus the like 10 to 15,000 that you're going to spend on solar. Yeah. So also, if you just need to charge things, you get a small power station like a Jackery that you could use to charge stuff. Or if you're at campgrounds, you're not going to need it. So this is one that we had, we don't have on our current trailer, and we're not sure yet if we're going to add any to this one.
It's up in the air. All right, on to number 3.
Is this 3? I think it's 3. I think this is number 3. Washer and dryer on board. Some people are probably really going to disagree with this one, but if you have a washer and dryer on board, one, they are expensive to add them in. Most RVs don't come with them, they come prepped for them. So you'd have to buy one. They're pretty heavy. They take up quite a bit of your storage space that I wasn't willing to give up. And it's another place for potential leaks or overflow if you don't remember to open up those tanks. So this is something that we have not had the whole time we've been on the road, almost 5 years. Yep. Alternatives are campground laundry rooms, which we have found to be pretty nice overall, or going to a laundromat, which I actually prefer those because then I can do 3 or 4 loads all at once and I'm done in like an hour or 2 instead of just running laundry all day long.
Yeah, that's right. If you talk to anybody with a washer and dryer, they'll tell you that it's a small load and they're doing laundry all day long just to keep up.
Like 4 pairs of underpants, that's it.
No thanks. All right, so no go for us on a washer and dryer. Number 4.
Here we go.
Let's go.
All right. Numero 4.
Numero 4, also known as number 4, is a pop-up tent. Now, we obviously have one. It took us 3 years to actually get one that we actually really like. You don't need one of these day one unless you absolutely already know, I love a pop-up tent and you have a good purpose for it. Because here's a couple things. One, if you get a good one, they cost a little bit. Yeah. And we highly recommend when you do get ready to pull the trigger on getting a pop-up tent that you actually do spend the money on it, because the other cheap ones, they just fall apart. They rip up, sun damage, the tops rip really easy. We've had this one for 2 years now, and it's been out in the sun just like this, and it looks just as new as the first day we got it. However, a lot of places don't even allow you, RV parks and campgrounds don't even allow you to put these up. So that's something you're gonna have to think about. The dimensions you're gonna have to think about, because they do take up a lot of room. So you're gonna have to be storing it somewhere. So yeah, like really think about that. They do have some really good pros. Ours right now is used more for sunshade and Legos.
It's a Lego
at the current moment. It's a Lego tent.
It does keep the Legos out of our trailer, which I appreciate.
It does.
Otherwise, you could buy like an inexpensive just shade structure if you don't know how much you're going to be outside. Or at some campgrounds, we really like hanging out at the clubhouse. There's some really nice clubhouses. So that's a couple of other options before you decide to invest in a pop-up tent, if you do.
That's right. All right, let's go on to numero 5, also number 5.
All right. The Cinco, number 5, is a water filter and a water softener. This is something that we do recommend that you get, but you don't need it to hit the road, right? When you're first starting out, you don't immediately need a big fancy water filter like the one we have and love and use. But what can you use instead?
Actually, one of the biggest recommendations is like just a simple inline water filter. This hooks onto your spigot and your hose. This is the Camco Taste Pure. They last about 3 months. It gets a lot of just the hard minerals, like not everything obviously that something of this magnitude is going to do, but definitely is better for your entire system on your inside your rig.
So yeah, a small $20 filter that can get you started. If you're not planning on ever drinking the water from your tap, we get lots of comments from people that saying, I'm not drinking the water out of there anyway. I don't drink my RV water. We get bottled water. If you're somebody who wants to just buy bottled water, you don't need to add one of these on and spend a bunch of money. And if you are going to, take the time and do your research. We've had the Clear Source, we've had the BluTech. There's a bunch of different filters out there. So do your research, find out which one you want, but you don't need to spend a ton of money feeling like you can't hit the road without having this item.
All right, I guess this is actually 5.5 because this was part of the last one. This is your water softener. I just wanted to show you guys real quick. Water softener is again something you don't need to get started. However, a water softener does more than just fix your wife's crunchy hair.
Which it does fantastically, by the way.
Your hair is really soft.
Thank you.
However, the water, when it comes through your spigot and goes through your water softener, the job of the water softener is exactly to make your water soft. And what that does is it pulls all the super hard minerals out. The calcium, the iron, the magnesium. And even though that makes your wife's hair crunchy, it also makes the inside of your pipes, your appliance, or all of your, like your
fittings,
but the nozzle, what do you call like the shower head?
The shower
appliances?
Faucets?
All of that stuff. That's where you get the white buildup and the crunchy stuff. And to avoid all of that, you get yourself a water softener. Not only does it make your water feel better, it makes your skin feel better, it prolongs the life of your plumbing system on the inside of your rig. So get it down the road, just not right away.
Let's go to the next one.
Next one.
The next one we have is camping memberships. So Thousand Trails is the big one. There's also Harvest Hosts, Passport America, Good Sam. And some of these can be really beneficial, but you don't need it before you start. And we would actually encourage you not to get any until you start because you could be wasting your money. So some of these memberships are very expensive. And the biggest thing is you have to make sure that you are actually going to utilize it. And what I mean by that is check the locations that you're going to. Do they have campgrounds in that area? We started in Nevada and there are, I think, 0 Thousand Trails
when
memberships.
We started for like 3 states, there was not a single Thousand Trails park on our route as we were going towards Texas.
There weren't many Harvest Hosts. There have, I think, been some added since then. But just check to see if you're actually going to use it, what the restrictions are, how long you can stay for. I know Harvest Hosts used to be 1 night. They may have updated that to a few nights now, but if you're not using the membership, then you're literally throwing your money away. So some alternatives to that would be to book monthly or weekly stays at campgrounds, which can save you a lot of money with some big discounts, to try and stay in county or state parks that are often much less expensive. Or if you're planning on boondocking, that's virtually free, even though, you know, you got your fuel and your whatever else that you got to use to boondock. But highly recommend seeing how you camp and how you stay and where you're going to go before you invest the money in a campground membership.
So smart. All right, on to the next one. So for the next one, we were going to take you into the bathroom with us, but it's too small to fit us both comfortably. So we'll just go from the sitting position right here. The next one on the list is RV toilet paper. Total sham. Don't do it. You don't need it. What you need is to flush a lot of water.
More than you think you need.
More than you think. Dump your black tanks more frequently than you think. Always have at least, they say, like 5 to 10 gallons of water just left over in your black tank, so that when stuff does fall down in there, it's just not caking like inside those 4 service bathrooms.
Yeah. And also grab some baby wipes. If you need something, throw those in the trash, empty it frequently. And if you are somewhere where you're not going to be able to empty, or you're boondocking, get a good tank treatment. If you're hooked up at a campground and you're filling up and dumping and using lots of water, that RVTP really is just bleh.
No, it's gross. Don't do it. Don't add that experience to your repertoire.
Get the nice cushy Charmin.
Yeah, get Charmin and baby wipes. You'll be happy you did.
The next one is all the organizers. And I love being organized. I love all the little totes and all the little pullouts and spice racks and everything. But you can waste a bunch of money if you buy organizers before you know how you're going to use your space and what really works for you. So take a little bit of time, figure out which cabinets you're going to use, which ones need organizers, which ones don't, and then take measurements before you go buy anything, so you don't do what I did and have a bunch that don't quite fit through that lip in the storage space they need to go to. And I'm not the only one in our family who loves to be organized. This guy also loves to be organized, as you can see in our RV basement. But do you need all of this to hit the road? That's the question.
That's a lot. Good Lord. So, you know we love these Morryde slide out trays. We had them on our last rig, pull in and out of your basement on both sides. But no, you do not need these right away. And I will tell you why. The number one reason you don't want to possibly get these right away is because when you first start out, if you're anything like us, when we went from our old life where we got to go camping like 5 times a year to being in it full time, when I first started, I packed everything that I thought I would possibly need. And then it always seemed like the stuff that I needed was way back there, so I'd have to pull everything out. Well, after a couple months on the road, we realized real quick that we don't need all that crap. There's like out here on the road, you need to simplify, right? So then once you simplify a little bit, you understand what totes and stuff you do want in here, what's your favorite camping chair, then you can get the Morryde slide out trays. And that's the other thing. Like this one is the full width of my door. You might not need that. You might want to put your long tent on this side and they have narrow ones. So understanding going out camping for a few times, understanding what you do want to take and what kind of storage you do need. If you're going to get the trays, you could spend what you need to spend to get the one that fits your lifestyle.
I'm laughing right now a little bit on the inside because these right here are totes that we had that I didn't measure for, and he got my hand-me-down totes, which is why we have wicker baskets in our basement storage. So learn from my mistake and just get it so it works the best for you, and don't spend too much money up front if you don't need to.
All right, we're gonna get tucked out of this wind a little bit. The next thing you don't need right out of the gate,
off the bat,
is extra stabilizers. Now, we have some great recommendations if you do, but you don't need them right away. And here's a couple of reasons why. Length of your rig, the amount of children, dogs, heavy sleeper rolling around in the bed. Get out there into your campsites and RV parks and campgrounds and stay a few nights and notice when you lay down in bed specifically, do you feel
your 12-year-old son flopping around?
Yeah. If you got kids, let's just jump to you need stabilizers, period. But if you don't have kids, where I notice it is when I don't have the stabilizers, the additional stabilizers up, in bed. When I just roll around, I'm tossing and turning around. I'm tossing, because then when I toss in the bedroom.
It's in the bedroom. We notice it in the bedroom, guys.
Okay, so if you're out on the campsite and you're like, yes, you know what, this thing is rocking. There's a lot of shaking and baking and rocking and rolling going on in your thing. I do recommend stabilizers. There's the I-beam stabilizers from Morryde that
Go anywhere
along your I-beam frame. Those are really, really awesome. And then there's also the Trailer-Valet, a little bit more expensive, that's semi-permanent, that you can put anywhere on your rig, that goes up and down with the drill. We've installed both of these. I love them both. You don't need those things right away. Get out there, see how sturdy your rig is. We have a 45-foot rig with only 4 regular stabilizers.
Yeah.
Should have 6. Would be nice on this one.
If you have a rig that your standard stabilizers work great for you and you haven't had to add anything, let us know what you have for your stabilizing system, because we would love to make sure that that's what our next rig has on it.
That's right.
All right, let's go to the next one. The next one is a backup camera. Lots of people love this as a tool, but you don't need it to hit the road. We got a backup camera as one of the very first things that was actually a gift to you from the fire department. They all came together and we were like, we need a backup camera so bad. Didn't get it installed for like 3 months on the road. And then even after we got it installed, it glitched out a lot because of the length of our trailer. It wasn't communicating well. And so then we would have like car behind us that we'd see on the freeway, and all of a sudden it was passing us. And so it kind of was more dangerous than it was helpful. Backing into sites, it can be good. It is not necessary. The best thing that you can have to help you back into sites is walkie-talkies and a well-trained spotter.
That's right.
I recommend training your spotter with a lot of love and care and encouraging words.
Patience.
And not the, my left or your left.
I don't know who would scream like that. So, but if you know anybody, talk to them and let them know that you should talk to your backup person.
Give them a little lesson. Check out our video on tips on hitching up and backing up if you need a little more help on that. But backup camera, very expensive piece of equipment. It's not essential to hit the road. If you want one later on, awesome, add it on. If not, more power to you.
Yeah, and once you become comfortable with your rig, I haven't even used it. Like, we used it for a year once we did get it set up, kind of hit and miss.
Put it away.
And then I haven't used it ever since.
And we don't have one on the new one.
That's right.
So let's go to the next one. So like the water purifier filter, like the water filter and water softener, this is something that long-term I would recommend. But the next one is an air purifier and a dehumidifier. And the reason I say don't get these immediately is, one, do your research. If you're going to get one, don't get the dinky little dehumidifier that doesn't really do anything. And 2, they are expensive and they can take up a lot of space, and you may not need them as much as you think. If you're somewhere that is not humid at all, like when we're in Arizona, Nevada, Utah, the dehumidifier rarely gets used. When we're in the southern states or on the East Coast, it gets used all the time, and we're dumping out, like, I feel like a gallon of water a day. The purifier, same thing. When we're out in the desert, super dusty and we need it, but not all the time. So do your research. Don't feel like you have to spend hundreds of dollars on the front end for these products. And some alternatives would be, we have the little moisture absorbers that you can put in areas that have high moisture. And then
turn it on the fan. Turn it on the fan in the bathroom.
Vent fan in the shower. You should always be doing that, whether or not you have a dehumidifier. Open that vent, turn on the fan. Don't let condensation build up on the ceiling of the bathroom. Lots of problems later on. So I think that's it for that one.
You ready?
Yeah, I think it's you. It's me.
All right, so there you go. 12-ish items that we don't think you need to hit the road. With some alternatives, a little bit of your own research, but stuff you definitely don't need right away.
So tell us if you agree or disagree on these items, or if there's other stuff that you think, like, no, you absolutely have to have that hit the road. James and Kester, you are crazy.
That's right.
And if you want to know the items that we think you absolutely do need to hit the road, check out this video here. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and tune in next Sunday for our next video.
That's right. Hey, also,
and Wednesdays.
Wednesdays starting May 1st, or whatever the first Wednesday is in May, we are going to have a video every single Wednesday called What Do You Think Wednesdays? Quick 5-minute, one topic, one tip, something to make your camping experience better.
And they are going to be all Jimmy all the time. You guys are going to love it.
We'll catch you on the next one.